work with employees. And the participants in between internations, state government and workers and their associations. So all together are mutually one to one. They are working for the organizational development, because all these people without their contributions, even single cannot work with. So we can also frame some objectives like here major objectives um, to ensure a constructive contribution of trade unions, to establish a proper channels of communication between workers and management. So the management will work for the establishment of proper channels at the same time to ensure the constructive contribution of trade unions, and also to avoid the industrial conflicts and to maintain harmonious relations, and also the safeguard of their interest of the workers and the management, and to increase the moral and discipline of workers. So the organization, if we are going to develop the organization and maintain, we must have a specific objectives in the organization relation. So, for example, it focuses on the relationship between the employer and individual employees, while other deals like management and other organized labor group. Still, another area to which industrial relations activities contribute significantly is that of overall industrial goals such as productivity, labor, peace, and industrial democracy. Because industrial democracy, there is a unions are there. That unions will focus on the their rights and their what they how they are working, what are the things that they are requiring for their welfare programs, and the significance. We can also see the significance, that means importance of the industrial relations. So establish the industrial democracy, contributes to economic growth and development, and improves morale of the workforce, and also ensure the optimum level. And we can also see the some scope is there. What is the scope of industrial relations? The concept of industrial relations has a very wide meaning and uh, uh, connotation in between the organization, because here the organization must create a series of social relationships. So there is a series of relationships which regulates the relations and working together of not only workmen and management, but also the commodity and the industry. So industrial relations are therefore inherent in industrial life. So industrial relations, there must be the social relations, series of social relationships are going to be there in the organizational level. What are the aspects of industrial relations? So here, development and the promotion of healthy labor management relations, maintain the industrial peace and evidence of industrial conflicts, and development of industrial democracy. So these are the aspects of industrial democracy. And you can also see what are the factors are affecting the organizational level. So these are the individual behavior, organizational structure, psychological factors, leadership style, economic and political environment, and legal and political environment. So these are the major six factors are affecting the industrial relations. What is that industrial individual behavior? Individual behavior is the perception and background with the skills or knowledge, experience, and achievement which influences an individual behavior. The employees therefore behave differently in a different situations, thus impacting the work environment in the organization. So organization will help will have this uh, different perception and background skills knowledge about these things. And organizational structure, the hierarchical structure creates more formal relationships among the employees belongs to different hierarchical level in organization. Also, the delegation and execution of decision making power by the superior influence the industrial relations between the managers and the employees. So always the organization structure is going to be between the managers and the employees, because they are going to influencing or they're going taking some decisions in the organization level that may affect the organizational level, because if there is no proper understanding and relationship the concepts about the organizational level that employees may not digest, and they have to work together in the organizational level. And the psychological factors, an employee attitude and mentality towards the employer and the given task, the employer psychology towards the workers uh, can positive or negative with ultimately impacts the employee or employer relationship. So the employee or employer relationships, there must be it's psychological factors. The psychological factors, if there is no proper understanding, that I am saying, if there is no proper understanding in between the organization level with among the employee and managers, that cannot gain or develop, because that organization will organizational growth depends upon the relations among the good relations among the employees and the employers. So between the leadership style, how as a leader, as a manager of the company, how is going to taking some challenges to overcome the problems of the organization. If the employee is not working properly, if the worker is not willing to do certain things and is not diverting his focus on some other issues or factors, so that organization may not get good job, get cannot connect with the good returns, because manager as a style is very important. That means his attitude, his psychological factors, or his passion about the organization development, that will give the good results in the organization level. And economic and technical environment. Economic and technical. Economic means in every organization is looks about the how to get the monetary benefits. If they have a good monetary benefits, they will the organization extend their business operations. If there is no proper business angles, business performance, that cannot run survivingly. So yeah, the technical environment also a very important factor, and legal and political environment factor. Legal. So all organizations have used to face the legal problems every year or every time, because the systematic things, unexpected risk is going to be happening in between the organizational level. So the political and also political, the government is going to be changing. For example, in India, 5 years term, the government will be changed. Every political party will, the India government is going to conducting elections, and depends upon the political thoughts or political views. So the organization is going to be working, and also they are going to taking some decisions that may impact on the industries, and also distinction between the human relations and industrial relations. What are the human relations and what are the industrial relations? So the term human relations says stress upon the process of interpersonal relationships among the individual as well as behind the groups. So there is a individual person is very different, and the organizational group of the organization is very different. So these people are have a good relation among the organizational level. If there is no, they have to maintain it at the certain level. And also, what is the evaluation of the IR? That is, what is the evaluation? That is steps. What are the types of things are there in the evaluation process of international industrial relations that are pre and post independence era. So before independence and after independence, what are the relations are going to be there, and what are the steps are there in the evaluation phase one, phase two, like that. You can see what is the industrial relations in India. So ancient literature throws light on Indians' advances in the fields of commerce and industry. Several artisans and workers were engaged in maintaining peaceful relations between capital and labor. They understand the benefits of being united and formed union to manage their affairs. So, doing Mughal rule, such organizations were not there on the results. Workers were entirely dependent upon organization and their employee who forced them for work. So, organizations are very important. The ruling, how they were ruled in the India, how the companies are ruled at the organizational level. So that is the evolution. C1 phase one, 1850s, the first World War, British government enacted several legislative measures. During this phase, British government and India was largely interested in enforcing that penalties. So here the phase one, phase two, like that, that is a that is a before the independence of the thing, and even phase one, phase two also both are the these pre-independence industrial relations. That means, evolution process and post-independence era, how it is going to be there. So immediately after independence, the India interest of the national economy, it was considered necessary to put a stop to strike and lockouts that interrupted the production. So here that before that there is a issues were uncoverable and there is no proper legal actions has good were not there. After that, the post-independence, the government of India, they framed that the complete industrial rules and regulations and these things. So, what are the determinants of industrial relations? Here, history of industrial relations in an enterprise and strong trade union, negotiating schemes of management and workers, economic factors, economic factors, social factors and social factors, psychological factors. So these things are the important determinants of industrial relations. What is the history of industrial relations? So let's see, every industry moves ahead with good or bad history of industrial. Every organization will work for the things and
Sir, your voice is low.
good or bad. These two, harmonious, uh, harmonious between the worker and make a good history of the enterprise. And in various strikes and lockouts and the fixed sacrifice the bad history of the business, good or bad history. Uh, so here the history repeats about just about how the company was there and what are the significant factors were there, how the company is going to making profits, or that how the managing that relations with the strong trade union. Generally, in India, we have a strong trade union there, like more than the victory or strike, which sometimes is going to happen in they are going to be strong in the relation trading. So negotiating the skills are management and workers. So well experienced and skillful negotiations create a bargaining environment conducive to the equitable collective agreement. So the respective of management and workers must recognize the human element involved in the collective bargaining process. Both parties must have trust and confidence in each other. So negotiation skills also what are the of the industrial relation. So economic factors and economic satisfaction. What are the economic factors? So the economic satisfaction was one of the important conditions for good industrial relations and reasonable wages and benefits to the uh, community with other industries must be paid by the employer. So economic factors and definitely will impact on the organizational level because all monetary things is going to be covered and that things very important in the industrial relation and also social factors and social satisfaction. The social satisfaction nothing but the workers and the management how that social things are going to be there with the needs and contribute the needs of the others. So the supportive climate is essential and build around the social factors. The interest of social factors and get changed without is the progress of industry. So all that social factors and social factors will also impact on the industrial relations and psychological factors. Psychological factors is one of the important factors in the industrial determinant of the industrial relations. Now, what are the causes and effects of the poor industrial relations? Some like mental injury on the part of the management of labor and intolerant attitude of contempt, um, contempt of towards the workers on the part of management, inadequate fixation of wage or wage structure, unhealthy working conditions, indiscipline, lack of human resources skills on the part of supervisors and other managers, desire on the part of other workers and high bonus DA, and the corresponding desire of the employers to view a detail possible and inappropriate introduction of automation without providing the right climate and inadequate welfare facilities, dispute on sharing the means of productivity, unfair labor practices, and discrimination and undue repression, retracement, inter-union rivalries. So all these are the causes and effects of industrial relationship. There is no conditions, mental condition, adequate fixations, unhealthy working conditions, like of human relations, and there is an effect on the poor industrial relationship. So we have to maintain all these balance. So imbalance things will affect on the industrial relations and the effect of poor IR. So effect on worker, effect on employees industries like less production, less profit, bad effect, um, bad effect on organization, bad effect on human relations, damage to mission and equipment, adverse effect on employment, on development of companies, and burden of fixed expenses. So, effects of all these, workers aspect and also employers aspect. We have to see that what are the effects are going to be there from their side to the organization. So, for example, loss of wages, physical injury or death, death on account of violence during the labor unrest and excessiveness by employees and economic losses, bitterness in the relations and adverse events on the period. So all these are the effects of even here also the effect of government and the effect on consumers and other effects. So government has a loss of revenue is also one of the effects to the government and lack of order in the society. There is no proper order in the society as the effect on the government and blamed by the different parties. So different parties also blame the government activities and effect on the consumer. Rise in the prices, scarcity of goods and bad effects on quality of goods. So how these bad effects on quality of systems are going to be in the operational level. So some other effects also there. If adverse effect by the international trade, the fall in the exports and rise in the imports, and also hindrance in the economic development of the country and uncertainty in the economy. So all the effects of the will be present on the organizational level. So organization for industrial missions and also industrial missions department and functions of industrial missions department, role of industrial missions officer, the role of trade unions mission. So, so when it comes to the this major summary about the topic, so an industry has two components of management, including. So before that, I want to explain about what are the essential of successful IR program. So and also role of government in the industrial nation. The industrialization process and the relationship between the employees and employees, they are very important to be artists because the employees and employers are working. The employees are providing and employees are working for the organization. If they are working together only, the government will provide the services or the give the team the services. Also, they are making some policies, regulations, and they are also maintaining the industry with the legal framework within the industry must function in determined by the government or agency, possibly in the constitution, with other role players in the nation. So this includes the trade union representative, employers, and self-employed. And also legal framework can be one of the legal intentions also to be paid by the government on employees and employer relations. For example, an amount of hours employees allowed to legally work per week, how much an employer is obliged to pay an employee for a certain amount of work. So the government can also become directly or indirectly involved in the industrial process. When boundaries when boundaries directly or indirectly involved in this initiation process. And for example, setting an industrial issue, dispute in court, or rejecting or amending a policy within has proven itself flawed and outdated or newly irrelevant to following the outcome of a certain case or set of negotiation. So the organization have a role because what is going to be setting some relevant, irrelevant certain things and policies which is going to be setting to the operational level. That is for industrial level and essential for successful IR program. What are the successful IR programs? So here the management attitude, organization culture, management and psychology approaches, and by psychology style of functioning, collective bargaining, grievance procedures, and methods of for setting of dispute. So management attitude, management personnel must think the workers as part of the organization. Better industrialization is essential established when the worker related the attitudes of the management are supportive, helping, positive, and consider them as a member of organization. So the management attitudes are very important to be successful because they have to be support, they have to be helpful, they have to be think always positive, and they have to consider the members of the organization with a positive based only. Otherwise, if there is no positive attitude, we cannot gain or we cannot get successful in the organization level. And organization culture. So organization culture also very important in mutually the mutual satisfactory possible times. The people at work and how they are going to through acting capability and how they are generating enabling these things and the management of philosophy, approaches and the style of function. There is a sound industrial relations are established when top management personnel are liberal, participative, and facilitated to enlighten and are concentrated for people work. So they practice both theory X and theory Y at the time of necessity. Their philosophy, style, functioning, approaches it for growth and development of the people and the organization as well. So management philosophy approach are also one of the important factors to the organizational level, and they are going to making a successful program and they are successful events, successful policies or the theories developing for the things because when they all together participative and they are also thinking literally and the industries are establishing in a top level management and also collective bargaining, grievance, prejudice as a method for settlement of dispute. So any kind of collective bargaining, grievance, prejudice as a method for settlement in dispute at the organizational level that will also help to the organizational growth. And when we come to the, we can also see some assessment questions and also one of the collaborative and cooperative climate. The existence of cooperative, yes, collaborative, we have to collaborate with other other organizations because if there is no proper technology, we have to adapt from other sources. If there is no technical knowledge skills in the organization level, we have to gain the technical knowledge from other sources. And we have to attain or we have to retain or we have to gain that experts to work with our organization. So when we are going to recruiting or when we are going to um, uh, when we are going to retaining them or else acquiring them for the organization level, that organization will give a successful result because we are going to working with them with a collaborative or else cooperative mode of cooperative method. So in that case, they are going to provide providing getting the services from the other sources. Then that we are going to converting into our organizational development. So you can also see that examples of self-assessment questions. There are two things are there. We can also get the answers for that. How what are the questions are going to be there and how to make a proposals in the management. Let's see the summary. As an industry, we have to see that what are the primary objectives of the industrial and how they are maintaining the relations among the organization level, whether they are going to making a good or bad, and how good, how healthy relations are maintaining in between the employers and employers operations. So the management good industrial relations results in a increased efficient and hence prosperity. So it reduces the turnovers and also these things. So organizations will always focus on the how this organization level making good relations and also how they are going to maintaining or purposely working for the good relations with the organization because there is no proper regulation or the good climate, healthy climate in organization level, we cannot success in this market. So these are the key words for that is the industrial relations, arbitrator, constraints officials, award, industrial dispute, strike, trade union, employment relations, labor management relations, and bipartite of tripartite. So when we have to when we're going to knowing about the concepts about industrial relations, we must know about the each and every jargons about the organizational is industrial level. And so we must understand the keywords about the industrial level. So um, we have a one case of state of is there. So food comfort, India's largest manufacturer and marketer for foodware products. So one of the India's largest manufacturing or marketer is there, footwear products per year. Food comfort reasonably priced. The study footwear had made one of the India's best known brands. So that footwear company, best management, the company provided employment to over 15,000 people in manufacturing and sales operations through India. So despite all its success, uh, food comfort had one problem, that was labor. So the workers resorted to strikes at the slightest provocation, throwing production and the schedules of the grade. They become perennial problems for the management. On one occasion, the country factory at Calcutta remained closed for 4.5 months because the union was against the policy of outsourcing. So, what is the problem here? So, they are working with the 15,000 employees since long term, but there is a problem. One problem was happened. The strike was started in the Kolkata. Food Comfort had started outsourcing the complete manufacture of the power range of shoes in China. So they shipped to, they're importing the things from China. The company had been outsourcing only at the assembly and sealing line jobs earlier. So they have reduced the work. The workers felt the decision had resulted in lower income for them, and they also feared that they could lose their jobs in the future. If this trend continued, for the first time in history, the company remained um, dysfunctional for more than 4 months. The worker threatened the management because people are the work as assigned to the China company. The China company is reducing the works because the laborers are going to going to their labor hours are the working hours or else the jobs they are going to losing the job. So the reason they're feared about these things. So how this company maintains these things. Now, how, despite the above agreement, the lockout was declared for food comfort factory. Yeah, yeah. I'm winding up now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.